everybody, it's Jess here at Village Green. Thanks for checking out our blog series. So today what we're going to talk about is how to properly take care of your container garden. So the idea behind pretty container gardens is you plant it, you pack it full of plants, it grows and gets really large. But if you want your container to look nice and trim, you should be cleaning it up and trimming it at least once a month. So now that we're in August and we're approaching the hot days of summer, a lot of your container gardens probably look like this here. This one is right here at the entrance of VG on Riverside. Still very pretty, but everything's kind of grown in together and it needs to be cleaned up. So people oftentimes ask, where do I even start? How do I cut back my plants? And so we're going to walk through this today and show you how to do it. The first thing you're going to need is a pair of clippers. These are almost like little scissors. I also have a larger pair of pruners in my back pocket in case I have any larger stems. So, the first thing I notice about this container is it looks like the coleus is really getting out of control. Coleus is super easy to cut back. So what you're going to do is you always want to cut back your plants right before there's a little what we call node coming up. You never want to cut it back in the middle of a stem. You always want to cut it back right above that node. So you're going to go ahead and start trimming your container. I oftentimes like to cut off the flowers of coleus because I like looking at the foliage better. I know what some of you are going to be asking right now is, what can I do with the clippings on these coleus? You can throw them in a vase or just a little clear bowl in the house, and they'll start to develop roots. And when you do the roots, when they start rooting, then you can just plant it up right in soil. So I'm just going to give this a nice little haircut, starting with the coleus. Some of them you might need to take down pretty far. The focal point when I originally planted this container garden was this gorgeous variegated bougainvillea that's in the center of it. And now you can see it's being completely swallowed by plants. Pretty plants, but just needs a little haircut. Anytime you cut any plant back, it always helps promote more growth. So these are actually going to come in and look nice and full. Let me just check this side out. I'd say that looks pretty good. So the next thing that I'm seeing right here on the side, I've got geraniums in this planter. Now, always a rule of thumb, geranium is the type of plant that you need to what we call deadhead. You need to pull off the bad flowers. You never want to break a flower off and just have a little stem like this. That whole stem's going to get black and gross. So what you want to do is you need to pinch them back again above that node. Take it all the way down to the stalk and get those cleaned up. I also have some of this gorgeous Secretia. This makes an awesome houseplant. Again, one that you can just throw in a vase and it'll start rooting. And then you can plant them inside the house and you've got plants. So I'm just going to take some cuts on this so it stays nice and trim. And again, cleaning up your containers, just set aside like one night every month and just go ahead and get your container gardens cleaned up. It's way easy to do that way. Now the other thing I'm going to do, I've got some icky looking fern pieces. I'm just going to cut those up. The Japanese beetles look like they've gotten to that. So I'm just going to clip the tops of those off. And then my bougainvillea is gorgeous, but it's getting a little bit long. So in order to promote more growth, I'm going to take some cuts on this, again above the nodes, right above the nodes. Just want it to be nice and tidy looking. That way the geraniums get a little bit more sunlight exposure. You can see the pretty lantana that's starting to come out down here. Those are all being swallowed up before. This potato vine is actually, it's a copper colored potato vine, and I'm becoming fond of using these rather than the lime green potato vines because they don't swallow up your containers. They're less invasive. So I would say now you can see the plants better. It's more exposed to the full sun. Be sure to give your container gardens a good drink of fertilizer, the Jack's fertilizer, every 2 weeks, and you'll have a successful container garden. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.